Hi everyone. In this video, we will be looking into a game between Grandmaster Parham Maksutlo and Grandmaster Richard Rapport from the round 1 of Global Chess League. This match is between Team Carlsen and Team Anand. Rapport is from Team Carlsen, Parham is from Team Anand. Let's jump right into the game. Maksutlo, starting with the white pieces, go for 1 d4. Rapport replies with d5, c4, c6, knight to f3, knight to f6, knight to c3, q into b6, c5, q into c7, g3, bishop to f5, bishop to f4, q into c8, h3, h6, g4, bishop to h7, e3, knight on b to d7, b4, knight to e4, knight takes on e4, bishop takes on e4, bishop to d3, bishop takes on f3, q takes on f3, g6, h4, bishop to g7, h5, g5, bishop to g3, a5, rook to b1, a takes on b4, Parham goes for castling, rook takes on a2, rook takes on b4, rook to a3, q into e2, Rapport goes for castling, rook on f to b1, rook to a7, bishop to c2, rook to e8, q into d3, knight to f8, q into f5, e6, q into f3, q into d7, bishop to d6, knight to h7, king to g2, bishop to f8, bishop to e5, bishop to g7, bishop to d6, bishop to f8, bishop to g3, bishop to g7, rook to b6, rook on e to a8, rook on 1 to b4, knight to f6, q into d1, q into c8, rook to b1, knight to d7, rook on 6 to b4, knight to f6, bishop to d3, knight to d7, bishop to c2, knight to f6, bishop to e5, knight to d7, bishop to d6, bishop to f6, f3, knight to e8, bishop to g3, q into d7, q into d3, king to f8, rook on 1 to b2, q into e7, q into c3, king to g8, q into d3, king to f8, q into c3, king to g8, rook to b6, rook to a3, q into d2, rook on 3 to a7, king to h3, rook to d8, q into d3, king to f8, q into d2, rook to d7, rook on 2 to b4, rook to d8, bishop to d3, rook on d to a8, bishop to c2, rook to d8, q into d1, rook on d to a8, q into d2, q into f6, king to g2, q into e7, king to h3, e5, bishop to f5, king to g8, d takes on e5, bishop takes on e5, f4, bishop to g7, e4, rook to a2, q into e3, d4, q into f3, q takes on c5, f takes on g5, h takes on g5, rook takes on b7, q into c3, q takes on c3, d takes on c3, e5, c2, rook to c4, rook on 8 to a3. So if you look at this position, after 70 moves into the game, match is pretty much balanced. So the right continuation here for Parham, and there is only one continuation that will continue this game as a balanced position, and that move is bishop capturing pawn on c2. And any other move and Rapport will be having the winning advantage. In the game, Parham misses this move and play rook to b8, and this is a blunder. And after this move, Rapport is having a winning advantage. And I want you to pause this video for a moment and try to figure out yourself why the move rook to b8 was a blunder by Parham Maksutlo. Kudos if you are able to figure out the reason behind the move being a blunder. Now there is a brilliant move in place for Richard Rapport, and it begins with rook takes on g3 with check, an exchange sacrifice, giving away a rook for a bishop. And once Parham accepts this sacrifice, then comes bishop takes on e5, forking the king and the rook and collecting back the material. Once king moves to f3, bishop takes on b8, and now Rapport is upon 5 points of material. And Parham continues with rook takes on c6, rook to a3 with check, king to e2, bishop to f4, bishop takes on c2, rook to e3 with check, king to f2, rook to e6, rook to c8, king to g7, bishop to f5, rook to e7, rook to c6, knight to d6, bishop to c2, f6, bishop to g6, knight to f7, bishop to f5, knight to h6, bishop to c8, bishop to e5, king to f3, rook to c7, Rook takes on c7 with check, bishop takes on c7. King to e4, bishop to b6, king to d5, bishop to a7, bishop to e6, bishop to b6, king to d6, bishop to d4, king to d5, bishop to e5, king to c6, king to f8, king to d7, king to g7, king to e7, bishop to c3, bishop to d7, bishop to b4 with check, king to e8, f5, g takes on f5, king to f6, bishop to c6, g4, king to d7, knight takes on f5, bishop to h1, king to g5, king to e6, knight to d4 with check, king to e5, knight to f3 with check, king to e4, knight to h4, king to e3, king takes on h5, king to f4, bishop to d6 with check, king to e4, king to g5, king to d5, bishop to c7, king to e4, and bishop to b8. It was in this position. After 108 moves into the game, Parham Maksutlo resigned the game to Richard Rapport. And on the back of this win from Richard Rapport, Team Carlsen went on to defeat Team Anand as well. The reason for resignation is pretty much clear. Rapport is upon 4 points of material and it is very difficult to defend this position. Maksutlo is only having 1 second of time in the clock as well. So it is either resigning or getting flagged. These were the options for Maksutlo and he chose to resign. In board 1, Carlsen and Anand takes on each other and the match ended in a draw. And on board 2, it was Arjuna Rigaisi from Team Anand and Pragnananda from Team Carlsen who face each other, and that match also has ended in a draw. Overall, at the end of all 6 games, it is Team Carlsen who manages to win over Team Anand.